Hello, everyone, and welcome to Innovative Tools for Installation. This webinar is presented and sponsored by TapeTech. My name is Tan Nguyen, AWCI's Education Program Manager. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mike Ventura, Vice President and General Manager President of AMES Tools Corporation. Mike has more than 40 years of tools, accessory, and application experience as a licensed general contractor. Joining him later is Robbie Warwell, Head of TapeTech. So let's go to Mike and see the new tools he'll be sharing with us today.
Hi, I'm Mike Ventura with TapeTech Tools. Last time we were together, we got the opportunity to introduce our new range of tools for working with EIFS. Today, we're really excited to show you a brand new range of tools focused on cutting and working with various types of insulation. Everything from fiberglass to wood fiber to rock wool and mineral wool products. Let's take a quick walk through the range, and then afterwards we're going to do a quick change into our work clothes. We're going to show you how these tools actually work. Naturally, no range of tools to work with any kind of insulation would be complete without your basic traditional insulation knives. TapeTech has two knives. It comes in a length of 11 inches and 16 inches. Both knives are dual blade. They have a serrated edge and a scalloped edge. And of course, these work with different thicknesses and densities of the product that you're working with. Both of the knives come with a nice scabbard. This can go onto the worker's tool belt so that they can keep it handy at all times, or keep it near a cutting station if you have one. We're excited to have a couple of really interesting folding insulation knives coming as well. This makes it a little bit more convenient to carry these knives all around the job site. And we have two versions of this coming. The first one is a single blade, and it is a scalloped blade. You see that it just folds out, and then it will fold up easily. Could fit into your work pants or to your back pocket. And what's really great about this, locks in place. It has a rounded nose. So it's a little bit safer than the traditional knives that are out there that have a pointed nose, where if you're going to go move it around or put it in your pants or whatever, there's a bit of a danger. But with this rounded nose, it's much safer. Folds up very easily. We've also got a two-bladed folding saw coming. So this now offers both the typical scallop blade and serrated blade, but with the same folding functionality. Fits in your pocket, still has the same rounded nose feature for both blades. So really, really excited about these products. We also have two scallop blade saws coming for the people who prefer a regular traditional type of handsaw versus a knife. This will be offered in 16-inch and 22-inch blade. Scalloped. Works great with different kinds of cutting stations, such as the Wool Cut 300 that's behind me to the left. We have a couple of 18-volt cordless tools coming. Same battery platform as we featured in our cordless hot knives, our dual disc sander, our backpack vac. It's really a fantastic, robust system, but again, can also be used with the adapters with your Bosch, Makita, Milwaukee, DeWalt battery platform. We have the 18-volt cordless jigsaw type of insulation cutter. This functions with one of two frame chassis and uses a dual blade system. Both blades are used at the same time. They both mount into the frame. And the blades are available both in serrated as well as scallop. The saw can be used freehand, just like you would use a jigsaw with wood products or metal or what have you. But it also has a base that can be adjusted so that you can easily cut precise angles rather than just eyeballing it and cutting freehand. And it has a convenient roller base that attaches to the bottom of the chassis so that you can cut your stock sitting flat on a tabletop or a workbench, and the roller guide will roll underneath the stock and the blades will cut through. It saves that problem of having to have the stock hang over the edge of the bench and then dealing with it. We will demonstrate this in the second part of the webinar. We've got another 18-volt tool, 18-volt reciprocating saw, made for cutting insulation as well. Ergonomic feel, lightweight, same battery platform, toolless blade change, and again comes with special dual blade recip saws so that you get the best of both worlds in a single blade. So both the scalloped side and a serrated side in 2 different lanes. Both of these cordless saws come with everything that you see sitting on the table. And the added bonus of the 18-volt jigsaw style is that this can also attach to the Wool Cut 300 system and be used as a vertical saw to cut lengths and angles very precisely, much better than if you were doing it freehand. So we'll talk a little bit more about the Wool Cut 300 in just a second. We're going to skip over these 2 tools here, let you know about another insulation cutting station. This is intended mostly for the fiberglass bats that are typically seen in homes and attics. Any contractor familiar with cutting these bats is familiar with being on their hands and knees down on the floor, putting a 2x4 or a level on top of the bat, trying to compress it and run a utility knife through it and getting your hands in the fiberglass. It's really just not a fun process, and certainly not great on your knees and your back going down to the floor constantly. What this system does is it lets you stand and cut the insulation without getting down to your knees. This also compresses it. The user stands on this with 1 foot, compresses the stock, and they're able to run the knife through the station very quickly, makes a nice, clean, straight cut. And again, we will show you that in use in our second part. We've got 2 very exciting patent pending tools that are coming for working with and shaping mineral wool and rock wool and wood fiber. The first one is called the Wool Groove, and this is a base sled with cutting blades typically shaped into a V groove. It just happens to be the most common shape that is cut into those bats when being used on the outside of a building for EIFS or other products. The blade quickly goes into the sled and very, very easily makes a consistent, clean groove in mineral wool, rock wool, wood fiber. The other tool for working with those same products is called the Wool Shave. This is 48 inches long, features 3 segments of scallop blade. And what this is used for is, we've all seen when we have multiple bats going up on the wall and the edges of the corners don't always align perfectly. And if we're going to do EIFS over that material, you're going to see those shadow lines on there. So very important to get the surface flush, but as we know, we can't use a rasp or we can't sand mineral wool or rock wool or wood fiber. So TapeTech created this tool so that you can lay it flat on the surface and shave those high edges to make the entire surface flush. This is only for really trimming edges. This isn't for cutting bats in half or something like that. This is to take care of those problem areas on the face of the building to give you the nice clean surface in areas where you just cannot sand or rasp. Again, patent pending on the Wool Shave and patent pending on the Wool Groove as well. So we're really excited to show you more about these tools and put them into action. We're going to do that here as soon as we come back. You'll also see all these tools featured in our new catalog. So we are really pumped up to get these tools out there. I'm going to go do a quick change of clothes. We're going to come back and we're going to start cutting some fiberglass, some rock wool, and some wood fiber. Looking forward to it. All right, here we are. We are ready to go. We're excited to show you these tools in action. Again, we talked about a whole number of tools as part of our new range. Everything from dual-sided insulation knives to scalloped edge handsaws to cordless saws, cordless recip saws, vibrating wire cutters, insulation cutting stations, a whole host of solutions to make working with insulation of all types easier, more efficient, faster, and more accurate. So we're going to get started now looking at our new product. It's a cutting station, extremely portable. It's called the Finsel Cut 100. Okay, so our Finsel Cut 100, this is a very portable cutting station. You can see very lightweight, easy to pick up. Cuts up to a 24-inch wide bat of whatever you're using. This could be mineral wool, this could be fiberglass. Whatever you're cutting, this will handle up to a 24-inch wide bat very easily. This operates very simply. This has a couple of pins in here that makes it, easier to put into your truck, stack things on so it's not bouncing up and down. You can see that this is a spring-loaded system. The insulation just moves through here. And then you can use a standard knife that comes with it to make the cut through. This comes with a great holder. This is a holder that has a magnet here so that even if you lift this up, your knife doesn't fall out. Is that this has a built-in tape measure. So rather than taking the tape measure from your belt constantly throughout the day and you take it and you have to put it down on the ground and measure your piece, or you leave it there and you don't have it when you go back to the wall, this has a built-in system that pulls out, stands on its own, and holds that measurement so that if you're going to make multiple cuts at the same length, you just pull this out, put your stock down, make your cut, and you keep going. Extremely convenient. So let's cut some standard fiberglass insulation that might go in the wall of a residential property. You can see you can pull it through from one side. You can keep it at single width, or if you want to roll it up and fold it back on itself, you can do that as well, depending on the amount of space you have, or if you want to make multiple cuts at one time. Very simple. You pull it through, stand on the station to compress. Take your knife and make your cut. Works great with mineral wool bats. Even with very dense products like a Front Rock MD, easy to make a clean, accurate, straight cut very quickly without needing to mark lines or just eyeball it. Works great with wood fiber bats as well, like Timber Bat from Timber HP. As you can see, the Finsel Cut 100 is an extremely versatile and portable cutting station. Works with any kind of insulation. Comes with the knife, two-sided, scalloped and serrated edge that stores very conveniently and safely in the magnetic holder. Makes it easy to put it back in your truck safely, and also, of course, features the built-in measuring tool that stores securely on the unit. You can put your pins back in. pick it up, and away you go. So let's talk about the new Wool-Cut 18-R. The R stands for reciprocating. It's a new 18-volt cordless tool from TapeTech. It's part of our 18-volt platform of EIFS as well as insulation tools. Just a reminder, all our cordless tools come with a battery, sometimes 2 batteries. But you can also use one of the adapters to use your Bosch, Makita, Milwaukee, or DeWalt 18-volt battery platform with these tools. So let's talk about it. With the battery, weighs just over 3 pounds, extremely light, very portable, ergonomic feel to it. It's got a stroke of 0 to 3,000 strokes per minute. Does have variable speed in the trigger. And it has a stroke length of just under 3/4 of an inch. So it's a really good stroke length to control any dust that might happen depending on what you're cutting. But it goes up to 3,000 strokes per minute to make truly fast cuts. Very simple to use. Toolless blade change. We talked about the blade. It has a scalloped edge and a serrated edge. You can choose whichever blade type is right for the application. Snaps into place. It does have a safety for the trigger, and again, variable speed in the trigger. Because you're bringing the tool to the workpiece here, this also lets you make curved cuts quite easily. Naturally, it works great with wood fiber on things like timber bat as well. So the Wool-Cut 18-R 18-volt reciprocating saw comes in a nice plastic case. It includes the charger, 1 battery, and the 2 blades that we saw previously. Ready to go, do some work on the job. The Wool-Cut 22 handsaw, again, scalloped edge. There's a 16-inch blade and a 22-inch blade. Cuts quickly and easily. For those that are more comfortable with a handsaw type of implement versus a blade, the bonus is that the width of the blade also helps to keep the overall blade a little more stable as it goes through the cut. Comes in a very nice scabbard as well to protect the blade and protect yourself when it goes back in your truck or van. The great folding knives. Very convenient, fits in your pocket quite nicely. Works just like a regular knife does. Cuts very quickly. Of course, it works with this. It works with fiberglass. It works with less dense type of rock wool, mineral wool products as well. The Wool-Cut 300 is an insulation cutting station. The perfect tool to hold and secure and compress the insulation that you want to cut, and helps you achieve long, straight, or angled cuts in flexible, semi-rigid, and rigid types of insulation. You can see that we have a semi-rigid bat here on it. It's set up. This station will accommodate pieces up to 12 inches thick, and it will accommodate a full 4 foot plus a couple of inches length bat. So all your standard material will fit in here, including cutting the full length, and it can be a straight cut or it can be an angled cut. We've already got this in here. We can go ahead and compress it and tighten that down. That's going to keep it in place. This is no different than if you had it on the floor and you were stepping on a 2x4, but of course you get to work standing up now. Very convenient. You can take out your TapeTech folding saw or a handsaw or any knife that you want to use. Simply goes here. Done. If you need to make an angled cut in your piece, the Wool Cut 300 makes it really, really easy. Wool Cut 300 can be adjusted top and bottom with these gauges between 0 and 45 degrees. It gives you the accurate straight cut while still holding your piece securely and compressing it so that you can make your cut with your knife or saw of choice. All right, let's talk about the Wool Cut 18. This is an 18-volt cordless insulation saw. It looks like a jigsaw, but it is specifically designed for cutting insulation such as rock wool, mineral wool products, timber HP, timber bats, other wood fiber products. It comes with two different blade holders, 9.5 inch and 13 3/4 inch, and two sets of blades for each blade holder. Comes with a set of serrated blades and a set of scalloped blades, which are in the saw right now, and the same thing for the 13 3/4. It comes with a set of each blades. It does operate with two blades at one time, and they operate in a opposite action as it cuts. Again, 18 volt, the batteries come with it, the charger comes with it, comes in a great case. The batteries can be interchanged using our battery adapter to be used with DeWalt, Makita, Milwaukee, or Bosch batteries. It has a great feature on here. It's got a safety switch that requires that it is hit twice before it will turn on. And then it turns off. So it's a great safety feature. It comes with this base plate, which can help to adjust the angle of the cut very easily from 0 to 45 in either direction. One of the benefits of this wide, rigid blade holder on the Wool Cut 18 is it provides a lot of stability to the blade. So if you're cutting through thicker stock, it helps keep the blade straight and plumb going through that cut. Whereas a typical recip saw blade, can get a little bit of wave and angle to it as it goes through thicker pieces. So it's really a great feature for this. So works exactly like a jigsaw works. But really makes a great, nice, clean, quick cut. So if we need to cut a bat at an angle, again, we can simply adjust our base plate between 0 and 45, left or right. And it gives us a nice, clean, angled cut. The roller base that is included with the kit makes it even more stable as you progress through a cut. You simply insert the blade holder into it, clamp it down. And now, what's great about this is that you don't need to have your bat hanging off the end of the bench or the sawhorses or a table. You can have it flat on a surface, fully supported, and simply cut through the piece. All right, angled cuts in Front Rock MD and other rock wool and heavy mineral wool products are easy. Again, simply set the angle that you need either to the right or to the left. Nice and clean. The Wool Cut 18 cordless insulation saw can also be attached to the Wool Cut 300 insulation cutting station. And this makes it a powerful combination, especially when you're cutting denser bats such as Front Rock MD and similar products. You can see that it mounts on here nicely. It's got a little catch up here that keeps it up top for you. It comes with a support and side handle for the Wool Cut 300 that can either be placed on the left side or the right side based on the preference of the user, which is a great feature. And here's a really, really great feature. On the Wool Cut 18, you see that it has both a front switch and a rear switch. They both operate the same way. It needs to be pressed twice for the tool to turn on. But why this is important is because when you use this tool in this position, you're more apt to have your thumb on the switch and bring it down, not have to try to figure out how to turn this tool on here. So it's a really great feature, but still keeps the safety that the front switch has. This chassis can be adjusted on this rail based on the height or the length of the stock that you're using. We're going to go ahead and turn this in the 48-inch direction because this is where the combination of the Wool Cut 18 and the Wool Cut 300 really shines, is if you need to make a cut along the entire length of something dense such as this front rock, it's very difficult to do it with a hand tool or doing it on a table or something like that. So we're going to go ahead and show you just how easy this is. Now, that's a challenging cut with anything else other than these tools, and you can see how straight and clean that cut is. Same idea for cutting angles. Just imagine cutting this kind of an angle in something like front rock using just an insulation knife or a handsaw or something like that. Probably not going to be very straight, very accurate, or very clean. But again, with this combination, that is a quality cut. You'll only get that from the Wool Cut 18 and the Wool Cut 300. Nice feature here is that depending on the width of the stock that you're cutting, you can adjust where your catch is for your tool so that it's resting here instead of 2 or 3 feet away from the stock. We can go ahead, turn it on. Fast, clean, plumb, and square. Here's another great tool that's part of the lineup. This is the Wool Cut 500. This is an 18-volt cordless vibrating wire cutter. This is made for cutting insulation. It works fantastic for those denser types such as a Rockwool Front Rock MD and similar products. Instead of using a blade, it cuts with a wire. There are some similar products out there that operate a little bit more like a stationary bandsaw. The advantage to the Wool Cut 500 is that this wire is already pre-cut to length and has the attachment ends on it. So it is a toolless wire change and takes seconds. You don't have to disassemble anything on the tool. Really fast, really simple. Again, this tool can accommodate the full length of all standard bats, so it will fit a 48-inch bat in here vertically for those cuts. It is 18 volt, part of our 18 volt platform. We've already talked about that with the other tools. And it operates very, very simply. You can see it as a robust frame. So it also has rulers at the bottom and vertically, so it's easy to measure your cut quickly without the need for a tape measure. And that is similar to the Wool Cut 300 that we just talked about. This tool can also cut miters. You can also change the angle of the frame. So again, easy to cut miters, clean, crisp, plumb and square. You can go ahead and set up your piece, figure out where you want your cut. And then all it takes is you're going to release this lever, which will free up this chassis. You will turn on the switch right here. And then you can see that one big advantage of this tool is it's virtually dustless. Very little dust comes off of this tool. You can see how clean that cut is. It's fantastic. So if you want to cut a notch, very simple, very clean, in very dense stock. If you ever need to take a hole out of the interior of a piece, you can do that as well with the Wool Cut 500. We're going to show you how that works. Building codes are changing across the country in many cities. And what that means when it comes to EIFS projects is that EPS foam is no longer permitted in certain cities and on certain projects over certain heights. And what needs to be put in place of that foam is a mineral wool type product. The challenge with mineral wool is that it's very difficult to cut a consistent groove in it. Of course, there are groove cutters out there for cutting grooves in EPS foam. That's easy. We use a hot knife. All good. But when it comes to a product like a rock wool, that tends to create an issue and it becomes a very manual process for the workers. So TapeTech has developed the wool groove product. This is a patent pending product that will easily cut a V-shaped groove. Of course, there can be other shapes, but V groove tends to be the most popular. And this can easily cut a V groove into the face of the project. Simple and easy. The other challenge with mineral wool type products on the exterior of buildings is that they can't really be sanded or rasped. So what is the solution when you have some adjacent bats that do not perfectly align? We know that all building surfaces are not perfect. They're not always flat and flush. So what are you going to do to solve this issue if it can't be sanded and it can't be rasped? Well, TapeTech has developed the Wool Shave 48. This is a 48-inch tool designed to shave this high spot off of the face of the mineral wool to achieve that flush surface. One thing that's important to note is that if your surface is misaligned by more than 5/8 of an inch, you really need to deal with the surface of the building, because you need to be careful about taking too much off the face of the mineral wool or the rock wool products. Just keep that in mind. But when it's misaligned by just a little bit, and you know it's going to impact the final appearance of the EIFS products, this tool can quickly and easily take care of that for you. So again, it's 48 inches long. It has dual handles, very, very simple to use, comfortable. Has 3 segments of scalloped blades. These blades can be changed after they get worn. It does have blade guards on here, and these blade guards are actually designed to magnetically clip onto the back of the tool so that you don't lose the blade guards throughout the day. Very simple to use. You really just want to come over to your high spot. You can use the rest of the building as your reference point, and then just use a simple shaving motion, and you can see that you're now flush. 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 This is going to help you get a great finished product for your exterior EIFS. Again, Wool Shave 48. This will be available in about 30 days. Only available from TapeTech. This is a patent pending solution to go along with our Wool Groove tool, also patent pending. So great solutions for all kinds of insulation needs, both cutting and shaping, every kind of insulation that's available in today's market. Everyone here at TapeTech wants to say a big thank you to everyone who took the time out of your day to attend this webinar and learn about our fantastic new range of tools for cutting and shaping all types of insulation products, from fiberglass to mineral wool, rock wool, and wood fiber, and beyond. We are so excited to be bringing these products and solutions to market, and we look forward to seeing you out in the field where we can help you solve your everyday problems and earn more money and build better projects.
Thank you, Mike. Now let's go to the questions. Question number 1 here coming in. What thickness of insulation will Wool Cut 500 accommodate?
The Wool Cut V500 will cut up to 12-inch thick bats.
Can the Wool Cut 18 use my DeWalt batteries?
Yeah, Tal, we talked about that in the video. Mike reached on it. We can, the tool does come with its batteries and chargers, but all of our 18-volt platform can be used with adapters that are made for all Bosch, DeWalt, Makita, and Milwaukee batteries are able to be used with our products.
Thank you. In the video, we're talking about the vibrating wire. So how long does the vibrating wire last, and how easy is it to change the vibrating wire?
Yeah, Tal, it is a diamond coated type wire. So based on what you're cutting and the density of that wire, you could get less time versus a less dense product. So it will vary depending on the material and the user himself. We don't want to have to force that wire through anything because it will create force and snap. And as far as changing the wire, you saw Mike, he talked about the 2 hooks on the end of that wire. We do include 10 pieces of wire with the tool, but it is very easy. You simply hook them onto two spring-loaded catch-alls, if you will, at the top where the wire is set. You'll pull one out, it's spring-loaded, you hook it, you pull it to the other one, and you hook it on, and you've changed the wire in a matter of seconds.
Thank you, Robbie. And last question here, will the Wool Cut 500 vibrating wire cutter also cut regular fiberglass insulation?
Yeah, as Mike showed in the video, the vibrating wire tool is more for your denser materials, your more dense materials, because if you've got regular fiberglass bats, it is very flimsy and not as dense. So it begins to rock and pull that apart rather than cut it smoothly, like we showed in the video when we're using against rock wool and the other mineral wool products as well. So it's not ideal and should not be used to cut regular fiberglass bats. That's where the Finsel Cut 100 will come in. To compress and cut using the knife.
Well, thank you so much, Robbie and Mike. If you have any other questions, please look at your screen right now and contact all the representatives there. Thank you, Mike, for today's presentation. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Thank you, TapeTech, for sponsoring the webinar. And we'll see you next time. Bye now.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.